So I want to start off today's video by asking you a question. Feel free to go down below and leave your answer in the comments. But what do you think the true value of silver is today? I mean, honestly, in dollars, in US dollars, how many dollars per ounce is silver truly worth? And the reason I ask that question is because all the time in comments on the videos that I upload, I always get people on all sides of the spectrum. I get the comments from people that say silver is a scam, invest in crypto. I have people say that if you would have put your money in stocks instead of silver, you'd be doing much better today. I have people that say silver should be worth $1,000 an ounce. So what is it? What is your thought? That's what I want to know. And what I want to do in today's video is talk to you about why I do believe that the spot price matters, but I also don't concern myself with it very much because I believe in silver and gold much more than I do, say, fiat currency that I'm showing you in my hand right here. Before we do, though, don't forget that if you want a chance to win some free silver, don't forget to subscribe. This silver chest is filling up quick. Between now and 100,000 subscribers, we're going to continue to add silver to it. And when we get to 100,000 subscribers, we are going to give everything in this chest away. Every single item is going to go to a different person. So the more items, the more chances to win. And trust me, there's going to be a lot more silver in here than there already is. And there's already quite a bit. Did you know that right now, SD Bullion is giving away an entire sealed monster box of 2022 Silver Eagles? Yes, you heard that right. That is 500 ounces of 1 ounce Silver Eagles. They are giving them away right now. If you would like your chance to win, make sure you head to sdbullion.com/silverseeker or click the link in the description below. And thank you to SD Bullion for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you've been subscribed to this channel for a long time, you've probably heard me say pretty much everything I'm going to say in this video. But it means a lot to me. It's important to me. And, with the amount of subscribers that I've gained lately, we are sitting at 80,400 as we discuss this. Thank you, by the way. There's a lot of people that haven't heard me say some of these things. Maybe they came in from the videos where I call and try and sell 10,000 Silver Eagles, whatever it may be. So the reason silver is important to me is primarily because of this stuff right here. This is US fiat currency. Now, if you don't know what a fiat currency is, it's basically a currency that is not backed by any sort of commodity. So the US, our dollars used to be backed by silver and gold. For every dollar printed, you would be able to go into a bank and exchange that dollar for a silver dollar. You would be able to get real silver. It was guaranteed by the government. I mean, even in our Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1, and yes, I am reading that off of the screen because I don't have it memorized exactly where it is, but it says, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything, this is the important part, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. That was actually in our Constitution. And now we are bound by this fiat currency, and the Fed, the bankers, have absolutely, in my opinion, no oversight. They can make as much of it as they want. I mean, let's be honest. If the government thinks they need $3 trillion, they go to the Fed creates $3 trillion, and then all of a sudden they have $3 trillion. And as a result, the government is currently 31 trillion, yes, with the T, dollars in debt. Let me put that into a perspective. If we were to go back to the first day AD, like we're talking, January 1st, 0 AD, first day, and every single day between then and now, we paid back this is, by the way, with no interest. We're just trying to pay off $31 trillion in debt. If every single day we paid $40 million towards that debt since the beginning of 00 AD, we would still not have it paid off today. That is a lot of money. Now, of course, there's a big difference between $4 million a day and the amount of money that the government brings in, but we are sitting in a $1+ trillion deficit. What that means is our government continues to spend more money than they bring in through taxes. And so all they can do to continue to spend more money than they bring in through taxes is what? Create more money. And when we create more money, we see higher inflation. So a good example is if you look at the US debt clock, the M2 money supply between like 20 years ago and today has more than quadrupled. There is more than 4 times as much money in circulation right now than there was into the year 2000. That is an astronomical amount of money that we have added to the current M2 money supply. In fact, look at the debt clock just back in 2016. The M2 money supply in 2016, guys, only 6 years ago, was 13.4 trillion, and today it's 21.7 trillion. We have added over $8 trillion to the money supply in 5 years, and everybody wonders why everything's more expensive. And it's going to continue to be more expensive. The Fed is going to continue to increase interest rates to try and fight inflation. It is not going to work very quickly, if at all. Unfortunately, I think the higher prices that you are seeing on pretty much everything is going to remain. And here's the thing, you know, companies will get used to those numbers. So it's very hard, it's very easy, I should say, for a company to increase the price of a product. It is very hard for them to turn around and say, you know what, it's overpriced, we're going to go ahead and lower it back down. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying it's a lot easier for them to jack the price up than it is for them to lower the price. Just like it's very, I won't say easy, and don't, keep in mind, I'm not trying to judge anybody's situation, but you hear, for example, a guy who makes $150,000 a year or $200,000 a year, you know, when he loses, you know, his job and has to take a job for a lower amount, let's say $100,000 a year, he's like, how do I do this? How do I live on this, right? Meanwhile, you have a lot of America that makes $50,000 a year and under that are living on it just fine. So why is the guy who's making $200,000 a year having trouble surviving on $100,000 a year, whereas the guy making $50,000 a year is having no problem? It's because he gets used to having that money, and so he's living a certain lifestyle. And, you know, companies are the same way. They get used to having the extra income from the increased product prices. And even if their costs go down, I'm not saying it never happens. There are definitely instances where prices do go down. It's hard for them to just say, hey, everyone's got all this money, but, you know, the cost of producing our product has went down, so let's go ahead and lower it. It just doesn't happen very often. You know what I mean? And of course, I'm not talking about economic reasons. I'm not talking about going through like a mass deflationary period or anything like that where they can't sell their product. If they can't sell their product, of course, they're going to lower the price to attempt to continue to sell their product. I'm not arguing that, but I'm just saying in normal times, if their product is selling well at the price that it's at, they're not just going to go out and lower the price of the product, even if it's selling really well at the price that it's at. So going back to what I was talking about, the government has all these programs in place, and it's really hard for them to cut the money that's being spent right now. And as a result, our current federal deficit is $1.1 trillion. So again, if we went back to zero AD and paid $4 million per year with no interest whatsoever, we would still not have that paid off at $31.23 trillion as I say this today. And at the same time, we are adding more to our debt. We are not, you know, lessening our debt whatsoever. In fact, if we refer back to the debt clock and we look at the debt clock time machine, go to 2026, take a look at our U.S. national debt in just 4 years. If we keep going the way we are, we're going to be over $40 trillion in debt, and our M2 money supply is going to increase even more. Another $4 trillion will be added to that as well. So that's why I believe that it's important to have some sort of physical asset that holds value. Silver and gold, for example, yes, there is a lot of it out there and more of it can be mined, but at least it costs money and resources to mine it. Whereas with money, it costs the government nothing to just create it out of thin air. Now, don't get me wrong, there are other things that I believe that are important. Some things I'm not allowed to say on YouTube because the YouTube overlords don't like me talking about it, and you probably know what those are. But other things are, for example, having some sort of emergency food ration supply that will get you through a couple of months, making sure you have plenty of water, as well as other ways to survive. Make sure you have, like, you know, a good number of first aid kits and a little bit of medical expertise. I'm not saying to go out and become a doctor or anything like that, but it wouldn't hurt you to put some time into learning some very common injury, like remedies for common injuries. So basically learn how to, stitch a wound closed. So, you know, that's sewing would be a good example, but, you know, things like that, stuff that may be needed in a pinch. I'm not saying go out and become a doctor or anything like that. I'm not saying to go out and try and cure cancer, but, you know, learning some very easy to learn and very commonly needed medical practices, you know, stuff like that. Definitely a good idea to go out and learn some of that as well. So anyway, that's my chat for you guys today. I know we didn't really talk about silver much. We just talked about the reason I believe in silver is because I mainly don't believe in this fiat dollar right here. But that's all I wanted to say today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I know I already talked about it, but we are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. Would love to have you guys on board for that and be part of that giveaway. We'll be giving away the biggest, it's going to be the biggest silver giveaway I've ever done. So hope you guys are part of that. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.